With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
You know what I did in pregame? I made sure I touched him as he went by. I want a little bit of what he's got.
The golden arm from last week.
Oh, how much fun was that to watch that game tape, all right? The number of touchdowns, what was that, 5 last week?
Yeah.
But 0 interceptions. So you think he's due to throw a pick? But I'm betting that he continues the streak in this game.
Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. They've got his man complete.
Oh, we got plenty of
and he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. A big play there with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Raiders have taken the early lead. They're the favorite, no question. And when they score like that on the opening drive to set the tone, you're the underdog on the other bench. That's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can't bring the home crowd into it, because you're counting on that to be a part of your equalizer, ride their momentum. But you have to give them something to cheer for. So now what you're worried about is they're better than we are. We can't get going. Are we about to get blown out?
Good news, still a long way to go. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general.
And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to match things right away, because they have a lot of confidence in their talent too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and you know they're thinking to themselves, I can get this back right now on one play. Well, if it's there, you take it, but otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Run the offense, get things going, and see how things settle in.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Well, Charles, you think about this defense. This week in preparation, you couldn't hide the fact from them that they're facing a team that's lost 7 in a row. You just wonder if they prepared the same way they normally do. And down he goes. Brought down a Raider sack. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He'll drop that off to Edwards-Helaire. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. And they call it a loss of a yard there. And that's going to make it 4th down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Let's take it inside his own 40. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And the Raiders will have a short field to work with as they take over. The Raider offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it. It's team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, and this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. A great play there. His second touchdown of the game, 17th on the year. And the Raiders are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8 ball.
You got to make sure to just hold in there. Survive the early storm, relax a little bit, and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
The extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make the score 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. So the Cardinals offense back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. They are currently mired in a losing streak. Now they get the short week for the Thursday night game. Do you see that as a potential positive, or is this just more in what has been really a string of bad luck for them?
Well, to me, it comes down to leadership, and leadership's got to spin it into a positive and make it an advantage for them. Yes, we're in a losing streak. Yes, no one thinks we can win, but we have the resources we need right here in this room. Let's go ahead and play better. Let's hang together and shock the world a little bit. Put it all together, they've got a chance of coming out with a W.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. They'll run for the first time with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And a good job by the Raider defense yet again as they drop him for a second straight loss. That second down play nets a -4.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss. Third and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
Expecting pass. Operating from the gun. Boyer. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to have this down deep into Vegas territory. A big play there on the catch and run.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
They'll run with Edwards-Helaire. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line. The numbers for him from a week ago: 15 carries, 69 yards.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
One more time with Edwards-Helaire. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. Looking to throw. Boyer. He's got his man. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. A great effort there. With touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Cardinals draw a bit closer. And in the red zone, I guess this is why you have a guy like that on your roster.
Without a doubt, if you have him, you use him, because he's a guy who's going to win just about every time. I don't care what the coverage is.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And that one makes makes it 14-7. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it winds up in a touchdown for Arizona. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And listen, these Thursday night games, they're tough on the body. You just played on Sunday, 72 hours later. Hey, it's game day again, but have to think. And that's caught inside the 35. And finally, he goes out of bounds right at the 35-yard line. It's a big play there for Vegas.
Already over 1,000 yards receiving this season. That catch is just going to add to his total. Certainly not resting on his laurels. He's trying to continue to gain as many yards as possible and continue this big season.
Now here's a throw that's complete and brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open. They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the top.
And now following that last play, I do believe we're going to get a review here. Yes, indeed, the red flag is out. And we'll get a moment here as they look this one over.
Yeah, remember now, the call on the field is what they'll stick with unless they have clear video evidence to the contrary. And I give these officials a lot of credit. Such a tough and demanding job. You and I both know that. Yeah, they make the right call way more often than they get it wrong.
So not successful there on the challenge, and he'll have to be careful from here on out because he'll only have one challenge remaining. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. A great play there with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the second most in a single year. And the Raiders add on to their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. As we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Second down, back to Edwards-Helaire. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
First and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Now a throw here, hauled in. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the
rush coming, and he's taken down. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 now on the season. Well, you're already up a couple of scores here in the first half defensively, and Charles, they just seem to be playing really free on that side of the football.
I love the observation because with that type of a lead, they feel like they can take a few more chances and be even more aggressive, and it's been paying off for them so far this game.
To throw on third down, Boyer. It's brought in by Harris. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 20-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run.
Third and long always tilts to the defense. And I just remember as a player how many times it was hammered into my head. Know where the sticks are and get him down in front of it.
And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. Micah Parsons make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long. From the gun, Boyer. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down. The Cardinals on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. For his running back, and he's got him complete. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. And his kick is good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps him inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. As mentioned, this one of the hottest teams in the NFL, riding that winning streak into this one, but now playing here on Thursday night. Do you think that this helps or hurts their momentum?
Well, ordinarily, I'd say it hurts the momentum because now you get that short week. But when a team's play...
Does the big boy have the juice? And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. A big play there. With another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Raiders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation, knowing when it exists to go to it. They did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays? Give us a break. Back out there.
Hey, man, give that water break and get on out there and play.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. And all the way down to the 39. A huge play there for Arizona.
When they needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. 3 yards the gain there, second down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. 2nd and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7. Operating from the gun. Boyer. And a quick throw here. That's complete. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Back to throw again. Man, and he hits him in stride. And he's going to have a Cardinals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
This has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago, because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. Now a signal and a timeout call, as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. He hit his first one, this from 44 yards out now. And his kick here is good. And that'll get the deficit down to 15. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. A final shot before the break. Fields. He's going to air one out. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Raiders out in front. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, we're into the final 3 weeks of the NFL season. A lot of races going to be coming right down to the wire. Before we get it back to you guys, let's check out what we have coming up this weekend on the Week 16 NFL slate. Some good games to look forward to in the early window, especially the one in Baltimore. A big one coming up for the Ravens, as they'll have to do battle with the Denver Broncos. Plenty to like about the late afternoon games as well. As you see by the highlight, these guys are in for a battle, taking on the Seattle Seahawks. And one more to highlight, a good one on Sunday Night Football between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. It'll be the Cardinals who get the ball first. They trail here as we resume action in the third quarter. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Cardinals ready to go here to start the third quarter. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done. That's a really good gain right there. They pick up 5 yards halfway to a first down. The only problem now in the huddle,
and the Raiders have got him. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
I'd say it's not panic time yet, but let's be honest about it. Empty possession here, not what you're looking for when you're down a couple of scores.
Absolutely not. Trying to start the second half off on the right foot. Unfortunately, going to give the ball up. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Back to throw. Boyer. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
On 1st and 10, Boyer. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 36.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off near the 32. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Finding some room at midfield. And he'll get this down to the 39-yard line. 101 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. So this game, Charles, you know, we talk about potential unbeaten seasons a lot. It feels like every year at some point in the season we talk about that. But this is one of those games where if you're unbeaten, you got to be careful. You can't take this one too lightly.
You're exactly right about that. And by rights, this should be a cakewalk. Almost a week off. Let the starters run up the score in the first half. Backups get to play in the second. But you and I both know the funny things sometimes happen when you think this way. So it's incumbent upon the starters to really play well to make it work for this team. That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
This is caught, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. A great effort there. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Raiders add 6 to their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone. This guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up. 4
touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
On second down, a run with Edwards-Helaire. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Boyer. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
I think we've seen this before. If someone's down 3 scores, that situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Here comes the Cardinals punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Oh, he shifts past him. And one more time. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The Raiders offense coming back out onto the field. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock.
Touchdown! Kyle Pitts, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage.
For good reason, quarterbacks want to get the ball to the perimeter to their wide receivers for big plays. But in this situation, it felt like, based on coverage, he knew that he wanted his tight end to have the football, and for good reason.
Now for the point after. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra-quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see. Just one play resulting in the touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The football going back over to Arizona now. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, "Wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys."
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Here's 2nd and 10. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. Back to throw. Boyer. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a 1st down. From the gun, Boyer. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Now the ball comes loose, and the Raiders pick it up. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
112 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Two things to watch. First is strength and being able to break out that initial contact. But at his size, once you slow his momentum, it's hard for him to get it started again and end up tackling him behind the line of scrimmage.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. A loss of 1, now a loss of 2, and they're staring at a 3rd and 13.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
On play action, Fields. They'll roll him out right. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A big play there for the Raiders. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a...
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Extra point right down the middle. And that will extend this big lead. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with a Las Vegas touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. Now a throw over the middle, and he's got it to start the drive. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Great change up there on the route and got that inside release, made it a successful pitch and catch.
Well, the first thing you want to do is have him thinking that you're going outside. Make a move in that direction.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And they will finally stop him as he's down to the 40-yard line. CD, this defense, man, at this rate, they're just having fun out there right now.
And normally with this type of a lead, if you're a starter on defense, you're saying, hey, let the other guys play. But with this going on, no one wants to come out of the game. They all want their shot at picking off a pass.
Room here to run. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. you better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead will swell by one more. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. Arizona's offense back out and ready to go. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. And the Raiders have got him. Micah Parsons in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right, then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. Here comes the Cardinals punter now as he's on to kick it away. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Las Vegas, they are now 2 wins away from a perfect regular season as they move to 15-0. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week where they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers.